Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another production of ParkTV 16 Sports on location. Tonight we are live taping from the home of Benilde-St. Margaret's, where the Red Knights are the visitors against Bloomington Kennedy in varsity high school baseball. This is a Metro West Conference matchup. Kennedy is the visiting team in fact, but in theory they are the home team. I'm Robert Christensen, happy to be bringing along the play-by-play and the color commentary. And as we approach this game, you should know that this is the second of a doubleheader tonight. Earlier this afternoon, Benilde was the home team against Kennedy and got the best of them. 12-8, they scored 7 inning runs in the bottom of the third, and they beat them 12, and that's the first pitch in game 2. The pitcher for Kennedy tonight is number 24, Anthony Schuett. He's a senior on the mound, and his first pitch is for a ball. The records of both teams for tonight coming into tonight, Kennedy is 2-6. They were 2-5 actually coming into the first game of the doubleheader, and they lost that game. There were 20 hits and 20 runs in that first 7-inning battle, and tonight's second game is only going to be 5 innings, I'm told. We'll see. The reason why it's 5 is because of the long extended winter we had in Minnesota, which caused a lot of games to be canceled, and so there's been a lot of doubleheaders scheduled as this swung on and missed. And up to bat there for Benilde is number 7. And our program doesn't have number 7 on the list. Let me just double check here. Number 7, that was Matt Murnane, who grounded out to shortstop, thank you. And that is the first out of the matchup. Here's the replay, and hard hit ground ball right to the shortstop, who picked it up cleanly, got it over. Nice play. Just the throw just beat Murnane. Now that brings up the second hitter for Benilde is number 17. And we don't have that name either, unfortunately. Who's number 17? Mason James is number 17. And he swings on that, and that's a blooper into short right field, and it's going to drop for a base hit. Oh, thank you. So now we have an updated program, so hopefully we'll do a little bit better with the names in this broadcast. Here's the replay of that bloop hit, and it just fell right in the hole there between the center fielder, second baseman, and oh, nice effort there by the center fielder. Almost caught up with it, but not quite. So we have a runner on first. Number 17, Mason James. And to the plate is number 13, Zachary Carden. Carden is a sophomore. Batting left-handed, you can see, there he is. Nice shot of the sophomore, number 13. Batting third here, 1 out. Pitch on away in the dirt, no go. No stealing a second. Nice job by the catcher for Kennedy. Number 10, Benjamin Cradle. Two balls, no strikes, 1 out here. Top of the first. Benilde, the visiting team, even though we're on their home field. Swung on there, fouled off to the left side, so that brings strike 1. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. So from the stretch, taking a moderate lead over there is, and that is swung on, and that's a high fly, short left field. The shortstop backing up, and he'll handle it cleanly. That was number 11, John Kern, a captain and a junior Shortstop makes the second out here in the top of the first, and that will bring up for the Red Knights number 22, Evan Brown. He's a captain junior, batting fourth with 1 on, 2 outs here. Benilde now 5-5 overall, 5-3 in the West Metro Conference, and the first offering to number 22, Evan Brown, is called a ball. So 1 ball, no strikes. If you're just joining us, there's just 2 outs here in the top of the first. Runner on first for the Red Knights, and the pitch on away, and there's a steal attempt, and there's going to be no throw. So Mason James steals second base. That puts a runner in scoring position now with 2 strikes. Here's the replay. Got a great jump on the pitch. Great steal there by Mason James, the junior. All right, from the stretch, runner in scoring position. Benilde won game 1, a 7-inning affair, 12-8. Trying to double up on the second nightcap here. Beautiful afternoon, actually. It's about 60 degrees. Light winds out of the west. So if there is going to be any wind effect, the ball is blowing out to right center field, and that pitch gets by the catcher. I think that's going to be a wild pitch, and 22, Evan Brown, on the ball 4, will take first base and hold there. And meanwhile, the second runner, Mason James, who was on second, takes third. So now we have runners on first and third, and we're going to have a pinch hitter now, a pinch runner, I should say, for James, or Evan Brown. Into pinch run is number 10, Kyle Klacko, a senior. So I'm not sure what that is for, but usually it's some sort of injury. So that brings up Henry Wolf with 2 outs. Runners on first and third for the Red Knights. Chance to get on the scoring column here early in the top of the first. And the pitch on away, and that ball also in the dirt. So Kennedy having some control problems from the mound. Number 24, Anthony Schuett, he's a senior, trying to get out of this without any runs getting across here. 2 outs, 1 ball. The pitch on away, swung on, and a grounder right to the first baseman. Number 19 handles it by himself. Nikolai Lohman, the junior first baseman, records the 3rd out, and that will bring a conclusion to the top of the first. There was 1 hit, no outs, 1 error, no runs across. So at the end of a half inning from Benilde-St. Margaret's, your score is 0-0. And coming up next will be the Bloomington Kennedy Eagles, the home team, even though they're actually visiting here at Benilde-St. Margaret's. But we're happy to be bringing you the broadcast, even though we're here because of Benilde. They are the visiting team. So if there is some confusion, that is why. On the mound for Benilde is the southpaw, number 4. Coming into this start, number 4, Matthew Knockbor. On the year, has pitched just 5 innings. He's appeared in 2 games. He has 0 wins, 1 loss, and a 7-run ERA. He's given up 5 base on balls, but he's also recorded 5 strikeouts. 18 strikes, 21 balls, so not bad stats except for the 7.0 ERA. So stretching these in. Here's a nice look from our catcher camera. Got the warm-up pitchers by Knockbor, and there's some fans hanging out around the field. Good crowd on hand from Benilde and the Red Knight home crowds. As Knockbor continues his warm-up pitches, looking around the diamond at first base for the Red Knights is number 2, Henry Wolf, a senior. At second base is number 12, Harrison Shibley, a junior. At shortstop, number 13, Zachary Carden, a sophomore. At catcher, number 22, Evan Brown. And at third base, rounding out the infield, is Michael Schmidt. We'll get you the outfield for Benilde in a moment, but now stepping into the plate, or stepping to the plate for the Bloomington Kennedy Eagles is number 1, Gilbert Lopez Humphreys, a junior outfielder. And we don't have any stats on him, and he takes first pitch, ball 1 to Lopez Humphreys. And second pitch is also called a ball, so 2-0 to Lopez Humphreys. Trying to get something going here in the bottom half of the first. Pitch on a way by Knockbor, swung on, missed, strike 1. So 2 balls, 1 strike. No score here early on from the home of the Red Knights in St. Louis Park, Minnesota. Pitch is high by Knockbor, so 3-1 now. Hitter's pitch to the leadoff hitter in the bottom of the first, Gilbert Lopez Humphreys. And that pitch looked good from here, but it would look like must have been a little outside. So Lopez Humphreys draws the base on balls here in the bottom of the first, and that will bring up number 11, John Kern. Kern is a junior shortstop tonight for the Eagles and also a lefty. He takes first pitch, ball 1. Pickoff move over to number 2, Henry Wolf, putting the tag on, but too late. So Lopez Humphreys still safe there at first. Let's see what kind of lead he gets off there. There's a nice shot of the pitcher for the Red Knights, Matthew Knockbor, and the pitch on away, called a strike at the letters. So count even, 1-1. Still no out here, bottom of the first. Sun peeking through out the west there. Pitch on away, swung on. That was a curveball. It's going to be fouled just behind the backstop to the left side, out of play. So that will mean strike 2. The count to John Kern. The shortstop. From the stretch now, Knockbor. Pitch on away, and that ball's high and inside. So Knockbor having a little difficulty finding the strike zone here early on. He walked Lopez Humphreys to lead off the game, and now it's 2-2, so he's evened it up here on Kern. And there goes Lopez Humphreys, and the high ball. There's going to be a play at second base, but it's high and late, so Lopez Humphreys steals second. That was called a ball, so the count is full to Kern, and on deck is Anthony Schuett, the pitcher. And we called time. I think that was by the infield umpire. You can see him on the right of your screen there in the dark shirt. From the stretch, Knockbor pitches swung on, straight back foul. Count remained the same at 3-2. Pitch on away from Knockbor. High pitch swung on. Is it going to get out of play, or is there going to be a play for the catcher, number 22, Brown? No, just out of play. So count remains the same at 3-2. To John Kern, number 2 hitter. Matthew Knockbor working for his first out of the evening, and that curveball's high inside, and he walks the number 2 hitter, so he's Now walk the first two batters to start the game, and that brings up again number 24, Anthony Schuett, pitcher, senior for the Kennedy Eagles. And in case you didn't know, Bloomington Kennedy is the home of the famous Kent Herbeck, former Twin, winner of 2 World Series in '87 and '91. I think he graduated from Kennedy, and there's a pickoff move on Lopez Humphreys. He gets back safely. I think Herbeck graduated in '81 or '80, maybe '79, somewhere around there. You can see his jersey hanging in his bar at Target Field. Okay, pitch on away. No count here, and swung on. Nice pitch there by Nakbar. Looks like he took a little something off that pitch, fooled Schuett. So now the count 1-1, no outs, runners on first and second. Kennedy lost game 1, 12-8, trying to even it up here this afternoon in the nightcap. Just a 5-inning affair. Two balls, 1 strike now after that last pitch. Akbar from the stretch. Swung on, missed, strike 2. Nice pitch by Matthew Nakbar. Evens it up at 2-2. Next up for the Kennedy Eagles is Nikolai Lohman, their first baseman. And that pitch is swung on, nicely hit, and that gets down in front of the right fielder, and Lopez Humphreys will advance to third. And a nice base hit by Anthony Schuett, and that's Kennedy's first hit of the game. And it loads up the bases for Kennedy with no outs for their big first baseman, Nikolai Lohman. And he is a big kid. He's got to be all of 6'3", probably weighs 200 pounds, cleanup hitter. And he has a chance to do some damage Kent Herbeck style here. So let's see what Matthew Nakbar can do here. In a jam, and first pitch swung on. He swung a little early for strike 1. Next up will be Joe Jeans, number 2, I should say, Joe Jeans for Kennedy. And that next pitch by Nakbar is high and outside for ball 1. So 1-1, the count to Nikolai Lohman. Bases loaded for Kennedy, no outs, bottom of the first. Broadcasting from Benilde-St. Margaret's, and that pitch by Nakbar is high and outside. Really nice afternoon here, slight breeze out of the west, temperatures right around 60. We're kind of hidden from the breeze inside the school shadow here, and that pitch, curveball, swung on and popped high up. Infield fly may be in effect. Nevertheless, the second baseman for Benilde, number 12, Harrison Shibley, makes the play. So that is the first out, unassisted. And that brings up Joe Jeans. Number 2, another lefty for Kennedy. Bases remain loaded. Nakbar, the pitch on away, trying to get out of a jam here. It started with 2 walks to open the game here in the bottom of the first for Nakbar. But he gets 1 strike up on Jeans. Pitch on away, curveball. High and outside. So the curveball, he's getting some action on it, but he's having a hard time locating it. Just 5 innings experience. So Benilde relying on their bullpen here to get these games in. Another curveball, also high and high and inside. Sun comes out now just as Nakbar looks in for the sign. And the pitch on away, looked like another attempted curveball with the same result, high and inside. So he's really now struggling at 3-1. 1 out here. JoJo Jeans looking for his pitch here. He's got a strike to give. pitch on away, and he takes a strike. So here we are now, 3-2, 1 out, bases loaded, bottom of the first. Kennedy looking to blow this game open early in the first. Outfield shaded slightly to the right, and that pitch is hit well, deep into the right field gap, and moving over there, making the play nicely is the right fielder. Clyde Selke, the senior, makes the putout, but tagging from third base for Kennedy is Gilbert Lopez Humphreys, so an RBI for Joe Jeans on the sacrifice. But that is the second out of the bottom of the first, and that will bring up Devin Barnum, number 12. So Kennedy now up 1-0 here, bottom of the first, 2 outs, runners on first and second. Bases were loaded with nobody out earlier, so the pitcher, Matthew Nichols, trying to maneuver his way out of this situation with as few runs as possible. Made some nice pitches of late to record the 2 outs. So pitch on away, and that is a strike. So 1-1 is the count to Kennedy's number 12, Devin Barnum. And that ball is swung on, strike 2, fouled off to the left side. Nichols looking in for the sign, not taking a whole lot of time in between pitches. From the stretch, pitch on away, strike call, outside corner, strike 3. And that will end the inning. Devin Barnum didn't look like he liked it, but nice finish there for Nichols after struggling with 2 leadoff walks. He strikes out number 12, Devin Barnum, to get out of the inning after bases were loaded. He only gives up 1 run. And so after 1 inning, the score is 1-0 Kennedy on the sacrifice fly by Joe Jeans, scoring Gilbert Lopez Humphreys. And it's 1 hit apiece for each team, and we will go to the top of the second. Coming out to the mound again for the Kennedy Eagles is Anthony Schuett. Got off to a nice start in the top of the first, and coming up for the Red Knights is going to be number 9, Caleb Vanderbeek. Vanderbeek is a senior. Also due up for the Red Knights is number 5, Tino Fialo. Fialo has 6 at-bats and 1 run, no hits on the season thus far, and he will lead off, it appears, the top of the second. So Tino Fialo, the right-hander, steps in against number 24, Anthony Schuett, and Schuett's first pitch is called a ball. Outfield playing, oh, that ball's hit on by Fialo, and fighting the sun and making the catch is the right fielder for Kennedy. Number 18, making a nice play, fighting the sun that just came out. He's looking right in. That was Jonah Smallfield, a senior outfielder. There he is, fighting the sun. And that ball was kind of a line drive, so right into the sun, which is still about a 45-degree angle in the sky, still really high. So that brings up number 9 for Benilde with 1 out. And taking the first pitch for a ball is Michael Schmidt, the junior for Benilde. No stats on the year for Schmidt, so this may be one of his first at-bats of the year. This is just a 5-inning game, and that might also mean that it will not count in the conference standings. It may count in the overall standings, but because it's only 5 innings, it may not count, is what I was informed. I have not confirmed that fact, but it would maybe make some sense. So now the count to Schmidt. 2 balls, 1 strike. 1 out here, top of the first. That ball swung on high in the center field, medium deep. Coming in is Lopez Humphreys, the center fielder, easily makes the catch to record the 2nd out. So Schmidt records the 2nd out, or Humphreys does, on Schmidt. So 2 outs now, top of the first. And stepping up to bat is Clyde Selke. Two outs here, top of the first. That's a ball count to Selke. There's a nice look at Mr. Selke, the right-handed hitter. That ball is in the dirt. So we don't have very many stats on Selke either, other than he plays catcher most of the time. Selke is batting .176 on the year. Pitch on away in the dirt gets by all the way to the backstop, so obviously that is a ball. So 3-1 is the count, 2 outs here. Clyde Selke, the batter, trying to get something going here with 2 outs. Another ball in the dirt. He draws a walk, so base runner for Benilde, Selke. Draws the walk, and that will bring up number 12, the 2nd baseman for Benilde, Harrison Shibley. Shibley, a right-handed hitter. On the year, he's got 26 at-bats, 8 hits. He's batting .308. Pickoff move. Safe over at first is number 8, Clyde Selke. Shibley now looking at no balls, no strikes. Swings on the first pitch to the shortstop, who handles it, and the throw to first in time. And beats Shibley to record the 3rd out. Nice throw there by John Kern, the shortstop for Kennedy Eagles. And that will conclude the top of the 2nd inning. No hits, no runs, 1 walk, and after 1.5 innings, your score is 1 Kennedy Eagles, 0 Benilde-St. Margaret's. This is a Metro West Conference matchup. Benilde having a better year. They are 5-5 on the year overall, 5-3 after beating Kennedy in Game 1 here from Benilde-St. Margaret's, but it is a lovely afternoon and evening now. Beautiful sunshine. Coming up for Benilde, it's expected the first batter will be Jonah Smallfield. He's the right fielder. Made a nice catch here in the last inning, fighting the sun. He's a senior. Taking the mound again here in the 2nd inning is number 4, Matthew Nachbar. He's just a sophomore, getting some experience. This is only a 5-inning affair here in the 2nd game of a doubleheader. Following Smallfield, it's expected that next up will be number 10 for the Eagles, Benjamin Cradle. So Smallfield followed by Cradle. So it looks like we're about to begin. Nachbar has finished his warm-up tosses. Smallfield steps into the box, right-handed hitter, trying to build on their 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the 2nd. From Benilde-St. Margaret's ball field on the campus of the Red Knights in St. Louis Park. I'm Robert Christensen for ParkTV 16 Sports on location. Happy to be bringing you the action and the play-by-play on a beautiful night here in Minnesota. So quick 2 strikes now. Nockbar, who walked the first 2 batters in the top of the first, off to a much better start here, getting 2 quick strikes on Smallfield, I should say. And that pitch, the curveball, right back to Nockbar, fields it cleanly, gets it over to the first baseman, number 2 for Benilde, handles it cleanly. So that is 1 out. Number 2 is Henry Wolf. Now at first base, Shibley's at second for Benilde. Zachary Carden at shortstop. Michael Schmidt at third. Behind the plate is Evan Brown, and Nockbar is on the mound, and the count is 1-0 to number 10 for the Eagles, Benjamin Cradle. So from the windup, Matthew Nockbar, 1 out here, bottom of the second. That pitch is in the dirt. So 2 balls, 1 strike. Up after Cradle is number 9, Caleb Vanderbeek. That pitch is a ball, a little low, so 3-1 now. The count to Benjamin Cradle. And that ball called a strike. So nice pitch by Nockbar. Makes the count full at 3-2. 1 out here. So the payoff pitch is in the dirt, and he walks Benjamin Cradle for the 3rd walk of the afternoon for Nockbar. And that will bring up Caleb Vanderbeek, the senior infielder. So with a runner on first and just 1 out here in the bottom of the second, in steps that guy right there, number 9, Caleb Vanderbeek. Just informed that number 3 is pinch running. Michael McAfee will be pinch running for Benjamin Cradle. So we'll see if that means there's a stolen base attempt in our future for the Eagles. McCaffrey, from my vantage point, looks like he might have a little more speed than Cradle. I think you have to have an actual medical reason, but I don't think these things get verified. So we'll see if that's a tactical decision on the part. And there's an attempted bunt, and nicely put down. Well done. And they call him out at first, but not before he advances the runner. That was a beautiful bunt, and he almost beat it out. Vanderbeek really impresses, and that ball just beat the throw. Nice camera work there by our camera crew at ParkTV 16 Sports, showing that action. So that is the 2nd out, and a big one it is. But now Kennedy has a runner in scoring position, and that brings up number 1, the leadoff hitter, Gilbert Lopez Humphreys, and he may have just found pay dirt just over the 3rd baseman's head, and there's going to be a play at the plate. Here comes Lopez Humphreys. The ball is cut off too short by the catcher, Evans, and number 3 for Kennedy comes in with the run. Michael McAfee, who was put in as a pinch runner, it did pay off. His speed did pay off. Excellent move there by the head coach, George Walker, to manufacture that run with 2 outs and a 2-0 lead for the Eagles. And that ball just got over the head, right, almost designed. Well done by Lopez Humphrey. He's having a great night here. 1 run scored and an RBI, and that ball is hit hard. Just fouled on the right-hand side. Number 11 now, the 2nd hitter. That's Kern. John Kern, senior junior catcher. Here in the 2nd inning, trying to add to Kennedy's lead here with 2 outs and a runner on second. From the stretch now, Matthew Nockbar for Benilde pitches it, swung on, reaching for it was Kern, and he fouls it out of play. So the count is no balls, 1 strike. One run across here in the bottom of the second for Kennedy. Makes it 2-0. Gilbert Lopez Humphreys having a night here early on for Kennedy with an RBI and a run scored in the first 2 innings. Matthew Nockbar trying to get out of the second inning here with 2 outs, and that curveball just misses. A few grumbles from the home crowd about that pitch. Umpire did look like he hesitated before calling it a ball. All right, now 1 ball, 1 strike now. To the number 2 hitter for the Eagles, John Kern. He swings on, and now he follows that off to the right side. Out of play. So now the count is 1-2. So in the hole is John Kern. Nockbar looking in, and the pitch on the way, the curveball, swing and a miss. He strikes out Kern to end the side, but not before the Kennedy Eagles score 1 on another hit by Lopez Humphreys, and they lead 2-0 after 2, and we will go to the top of the third in this 5-run second game of a doubleheader. Benilde won game 1, 12-8 on 20 total hits. Each team had 10 hits apiece. Benilde turned it into 12 runs, and the Kennedy Eagles mustered 8, but that was not enough. We arrived here about halfway through that game 1, and I saw the crooked number. Benilde had a 7-run bottom of the third that really took control of that game. So as we look at the schedule coming up for Benilde-St. Margaret's, you can see just the other day they lost a doubleheader to Chanhassen, and Chanhassen is leading the conference with wins. They are 7-1 in the conference, 7-3 overall. But coming up next after these 2 games against Bloomington Kennedy, the Benilde-St. Margaret Red Knights will host Chaska on the 14th. That's next Monday. Then on Wednesday, they travel to St. Louis Park. And then they host Richfield, and then they're at Totina Grace to round out the season, and then the sections will begin already in this condensed season. We had snow on the ground here about 2.5 weeks ago, 12 inches. But now we have green grass and a sunny sky and warmer temps, light winds, beautiful early May day here in St. Louis Park, Minnesota. Okay, we're about to begin here, the top of the third. Stepping into the batter's box for the Red Knights is number 7, and he swings at the first pitch. 7 is Matt Murnane, and he is thrown out by a nice throw by Kearns on over to number 19 for the Kennedy Eagles, Lohman. So first pitch, 1 out. There's a nice angle of the throw and the catch. So 1 pitch, 1 out. Very efficient start for Anthony Schuett, the senior pitcher for the Kennedy Eagles, and that brings up number 17, Mason James. James is a junior for Benilde, right-handed hitter. He's batting .522, the best average on the team for the Red Knights. And he looks and he swings at that pitch and he drives it to right field, but it stands up there for the right fielder. Number 18 handles it, Jonas Smallfield. That's the second put out he's made out there in right field fighting that sun. So they retire Benilde's best pitcher for the second out here in the top of the third. So nice job by Schuett. He's cruising along here, already 2 outs, just having thrown a few pitches. And in steps for the Red Knights, number 13, Zachary Carden, number 13, left-handed hitter. On the year, Carden is hitting .500, 26 at-bats, 4 runs scored, 13 hits. 5 singles, 1 double, no home runs, no triples for Mr. Carden. So it's 1-1, 2 outs here. Anthony Schuett on the mound. 2-0 lead for Kennedy, and Carden swings and fouls that straight back. So his timing is dead on, but he's now in a hole now with 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 outs here, top of the third. Pitch Pitch on away from Anthony Schuett, swung on, and that is just going to be a little blooper right to the third baseman who handles it cleanly. Nice play there by number 12 for Kennedy as Devin Barnum records the third out. So after 2.5 innings, your score is 2-0. Coming up are the Eagles of Bloomington Kennedy with a 2-0 lead. Taking the mound for Benilde out there, you can see is number 4, Matthew Nachbar. He's the starting pitcher. Gave up a run after 2 walks in the first inning to Lopez Humphreys, and then he gave up a hit to Lopez Humphreys, which led to a run in the second inning, and that is how our score is 2-0. If you're just joining us, Benilde-St. Margaret's is actually the visiting team, even though they're on their home field. This being the second game of a doubleheader. There is our website on the screen, ParkTV.org. You can find everything you want to know about your fair city of St. Louis Park. They got lots going on. And any information you need regarding broadcasting and all the channels that are provided is all right there. ParkTV.org. Put your city to work for you, and you can go find out how they can do it by going to that website. So Nachbar completes his warm-up tosses, and coming up to bat for the Eagles of Bloomington Kennedy is the pitcher, Anthony Schuett, with a shutout one-hitter going on tonight. And the right-handed hitter will lead off the bottom of the third. Matthew Nachbar, the left-hander, to the right-hander, Anthony Schuett. Bottom of the third, 2-0 Kennedy. And the pitch, strike call. So after an initial rough start finding the strike zone, Nachbar seems to have settled down nicely here. Getting those first pitch called for a strike is critical to any starting pitcher. Next pitch is 1 ball, 1 strike. To Schuett. And he swings and lines a base hit on a rope. So Schuett gets on with the leadoff hit here, bottom of the third, and that will bring up the first baseman, Nikolai Lohman. The right-handed hitter, Lohman, looks at that first pitch, was the curveball, swings on it, it's going to be in the hole and short, and there'll be no play. That's an infield base hit by Lohman. Seeing eye grounder, just eludes the third baseman and the shortstop for a base hit. So now two runners on, 2 base hits, no outs, bottom of the third. There's Lohman. Big smile there, getting on base. And at the back of your screen, there is Schuett. Actually, I think Schuett is not out there. I think there's a pinch. There's a bunt attempt. So Kennedy trying to manufacture. No, that is Schuett still out there in second. Yeah, there is a pinch runner now. 14 came in for 24. So on second base is Justin Elkholm, a junior second baseman, pinch running for the pitcher, Anthony Schuett. So runners on first and second. 1 strike, no balls, the count to number 2, Joe Jeans, and he swings on it, and that ball is driven deep to right field. Back is the right fielder, and it escapes him over the head. That ball is down, and waiting on the fly ball was Elkhorn, so he'll be held up at third because it was unclear to him whether that ball was going to drop or not. Otherwise, he would have scored easily. So rather than an RBI on the big hit all the way to right field by Joe Jeans, boy, did he get a hold of this one, and he got it up in that wind. The wind was right behind him, and it gets way out there, turns around the right fielder who's unable to make the play out there for Bloomington, or for Kennedy, or excuse me, for Benilde, unable to make the catch So now that loads the bases up, and that brings out management for Benilde to talk things over. With no outs, bases loaded. And coming up is Jonas Smallfield, the right fielder. Also coming out on the field, there's the meeting. So they're just going over contingencies. Are they going to bring the infield in to try to cut off the lead runner? Are they going to play it straight away? That's the first thing I would look for here, and we'll see what they do. Looks like they're going to play double play depth. Yeah, the shortstop and the second baseman, they're hoping for a grounder. They'll probably concede the runner. If it's a ground ball, trying to get the 2 outs and then hopefully get some runs later in the game. All right, though, but this is a big opportunity for Kennedy with no outs, bases loaded. They had bases loaded in the first, but only were able to get 1 run, which really was a victory for Benilde. The first pitch by Nakbar, strike. So he gets that first strike across. That's a big relief. For Nakbar, who's now, let's see, he's just a sophomore, so he's getting experience. And he's getting great experience here. That was a nice first pitch. And now the second pitch to the second baseman. A little slow roller, gets the first out, but not before the run scores. Elkhorn from third. So a sacrifice, fielder's choice, RBI for the Eagles makes the score 3-0. And that's the first out. But now Kennedy has 2 runners in scoring position. And the first pitch to Smallfield, the right fielder's fouled to the right side for strike 1. Joe Jeans on second. Nikolai Lohman on third for Kennedy. And the pitch on away to Smallfield. Curveball. Nice pitch by Nakbar. Strikes out Smallfield for the second out. So now with 2 outs and still 2 runners in scoring position, that brings up number 10, Benjamin Cradle. Last time up he walked, but looking for a base hit, 2 RBI single here. And of course, Bloomington trying to prevent that from happening. Nakbar's first pitch, called a ball. So 1-0 the count. To Benjamin Cradle, swung on, strike call. Nice pitch by Nakbar out of the strike zone. Got Cradle to chase it. So 1 ball, 1 strike. Winds seem to be dying down slightly as the sun edges closer to the horizon, and the left-handed pitch, another big curveball, fools Cradle for strike 2. So now in a hole is Cradle, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nakbar showing some brilliance here. Curveball starting to come in there nicely for him. Pitch on away, another curveball, swings, but ball's in fair play, and Cradle will make first base on the dropped 3rd strike. So that's the rule, 3rd strike drop. You got to throw him out at first. So an error there on the catcher. Should have handled that ball, but it got away from him, and alertly Cradle takes first base, and that loads him up again. So with 2 outs, bases loaded for the 3rd time this evening for the Eagles, brings up Caleb Vanderbeek here in the bottom of the 3rd, and he takes first pitch for a strike at the letters. So Nakbar really looking a lot better than he did in the first inning. Starting to get that first pitch strike, which is always critical. But the bases are jammed. That ball swung on into short right field. Shibley, the second baseman, moves over very nicely to make the 3rd out and prevent a really big inning for Kennedy. But in the bottom of the 3rd, Kennedy on 3 hits, they score 2 runs to increase the score to 4-0 here as we go to the top of the 4th in this 5-inning second game of a doubleheader, broadcasting from Benilde-St. Margaret's High School, where the visitors are Benilde and the home team is Kennedy. It was vice versa in the first game, and they're reversing it for the second game as all these high schools throughout the state try to get their full seasons in before sections begin in just a week or two. The spring sports season is moving quickly here in Minnesota as we near the midway point of May. Already talking about sections coming up in about a week and a half, 2 weeks. So coming out on the mound again will be Anthony Schuett, a nice hit in their bottom half of the third. So he'll pitch here in the fourth. Due up for Benilde should be, expected to be, leading off number 22, Evan Brown, the catcher, senior captain, followed by number 2, senior Henry Wolf. So as Schuett completes his warm-up tosses, you can see the shadows starting to creep in from the Benilde building there along the third base line. We'll see if that has any impact. You can see a shadow there in short left field. So far, it doesn't seem to be having too much of an impact, but as the sun goes down, the shadows start to stretch on the field. We'll keep an eye on that aspect of the game. All right, pitch on away to lead off the top of the fourth, and that is a ball from Anthony Schuett to the right-handed hitter, Evan Brown. Second pitch swung on and sharply hit. Base hit into right center field. Will Evan Brown go for 2? He rounds a big first and he'll pull up there. So a nice leadoff hit here in the top of the fourth inning for the Red Knights, down 3-0 to the Eagles. Eagles have scored 1 run in each of their bottom half of the first 3 innings, and there's a nice replay of that well hit line drive base hit by Brown, and he'll now come out for a pinch runner. Boy, they're getting very specialized these days. That's the 3rd pinch runner of the game combined, both teams. That is number 10 out there for Benilde, pinch running Kyle Klacko, senior. And up to bat for Benilde is number 2, Henry Wolf, the senior. With 1 on, nobody out here, top of the fourth. Benilde down 3-0, trying to get on the board here. This might be the inning, and that pitch from Schuett is in the dirt. So 1 ball, 1 strike, the count to Wolf. If Wolf reaches, well, even if he doesn't, the 3rd hitter this inning for Benilde is Wolf swings and fouls that one back for strike 2. 1-2 to Wolf. Next up for Benilde, looks like it's going to be Tino Fialo, the senior captain. So the count, 1-2 to Henry Wolf. 1 on, nobody out for the Red Knights. They're down 3-0. Pitch on away by Anthony Schuett. Stolen base attempt by Klacko is successful, so he advances to second base. No throw as the ball was in the dirt. So Klacko makes it safely, and he's now in scoring position for Henry Wolf, who now has a 2-2 count. Pitch on away, and Wolf is he's going for third base now, and that ball goes into left field, and that will allow Klacko to score Benilde's first run as they manufacture that on 2 stolen bases, and then a wild pickoff attempt by the Kennedy catcher goes all the way in the left field, allowing Klacko to score. So now it is 3-1 on the air. So we have now 2 no outs, 3-2 count, and now a walk by Schuett. Schuett, who's cruising along here through the first 3 innings, is now running into some trouble, giving up a base hit, then 2 stolen bases, then he suffered a wild pickoff attempt by the catcher. And that's going to bring out one of the coaches for Kennedy Eagles to talk things over. Probably just to go and make sure that mentally his pitcher, Schuett, is doing okay. Just to settle the team down as they nurse a 3-1 lead. When we resume, Benilde will have no outs, a runner on first, having already scored 1 run on a base hit, 2 stolen bases, and a wild pickoff attempt. Has suddenly put a new complexion on this game for the Kennedy Eagles. They come in with just 2 wins on the year. They just lost to Benilde earlier this afternoon in game 1. They have a lead as we get in the late innings, and they don't want to let this one slip away. So let's see if any words of wisdom from the coaching staff of Kennedy has any impact to try to stop the bleeding here for the Eagles. All right, Anthony Schuett remains in the game from the stretch. And the pitch on away to Tino Fialo. And both the pitcher and the batter step back from the mound and the rubber and the plate. And now we're both back in business. And they're keeping a close eye on the first base leadoff runner for Benilde, as Schuett throws that first pitch for a ball. So close game here, only 5 innings here in game 2 of the doubleheader here. Metro West showdown here between Bloomington Kennedy, the East Siders, and Benilde St. Margaret's. And the pitch and another stolen base attempt, and that throw is in time, and he is out. What a throw by number 10 for Kennedy. Benjamin Cradle throws out. Look at that ball there, plenty of time, and boy, the tag almost was applied too late. The ball was there way in time, but a little off the mark. The better rule of thumb, if you're the second baseman taking that throw, the shortstop, is just to put the ball down on the base and allow the runner to slide right into your glove. If you reach out and you don't touch the thigh soon enough, that foot could slip in before the tag. So almost an error there by Kennedy, but they did get the out called at second. So with 1 out, the count now is 2-2 to Tino Fialo. Nobody on. And that pitch, oh, looked like a curveball, close. But the count is 3-2 to the senior Fialo. And the pitch swung on. High bouncer to the third baseman, unable to handle it for the Eagles is number 12, Devin Barnum. So that means Fialo will reach. I don't know if they're going to call that an error or a hit. Could go either way. I would call it an error, but I'm harsh. They did. Official score gave that one an error. Probably should have been handled. Would have been a great play. It was a tough short hop he had to handle. So not the worst error you'll ever see in baseball. Barnum shouldn't be ashamed of anything. Tough play as he's rushing in. It was a big hop, and then he had to take it on the short hop. So that means Fialo's on first with 1 out, and that brings up for the Red Knights number 9, Michael Schmidt. Schmidt is a junior right-handed hitter. Benilde already has 1 run across by virtue of 2 stolen bases and a wild pitch. Looking for a second run here as we are in the top of the 4th of a 5-inning game. Next pitch by Schuett is called a ball. Michael Schmidt has had limited action this year. He's appeared in 3 games. He has 3 at-bats, 2 strikeouts. And there's a pickoff move on Fialo. Kennedy very worried about him over there. Fialo looks like he might have some speed. Actually, in there is number 6, Jack Tiemann. Tiemann is a pinch runner, but he also looks like he has some speed. So Benilde and Kennedy using their bench, Benilde especially. I'm not sure this game is going to count in the standings. I had heard a rumor that these 5-inning second games of doubleheaders are not going to count in the conference standings. I'm not sure if they're going to count in any type of tiebreaker that might be necessary in terms of sectional seedings, or if they count in the overall records, but nevertheless, they're just playing 5. So 3 balls, no strikes to count to Michael Schmidt. And Schmidt draws a walk, so that's his second walk on the year, to go with 2 strikeouts and 4 at-bats. So that puts 2 runners on here with just 1 out. So the tying run is aboard. The go-ahead run is coming to bat, and that is Clyde Selke. Selke on the year. The right-handed hitter is batting Selke is batting 154, 26 at-bats, 4 hits, couple base on balls, trying to get that runner, and he hits it sharply into the gap in right center. That should score 1 at least. The right fielder picks it up, gets it in, and the runner on first reaches third. That is an RBI. Great base hit for number 8, Selke of Benilde, and now the score is 3-2 with just 1 out. Runners on first and third at the corners, and nicely done there by Mr. Selke for Benilde. Clyde Selke, the senior captain, with just 1 out, laces a base hit, RBI single, advances the runner to third. Here's that replay. Well struck right into the gap. Nicely handled there by the right fielder for Kennedy, Smallfield. And now up is the second baseman, Harrison Shibley, looking down to get the side. Still only 1 out, so Benilde is not done here. They've evened the hit totals at 3. And the no balls, 1 strike pitch to Shibley is outside and low for ball 1. So 1-1. Michael Schmidt is on third. Clyde Selke on first. Shibley at the plate with a 1-1 count, 1 out. Anthony Schuett's gone the whole way for Kennedy. His pitch outside, called a ball, and a pickoff attempt down to first base is not in time. Throw there by number 10, Benjamin Cradle. Just a little late, trying to get the leading player there, Clyde Selke. And the pitch on away, swung on to the right side of the field. Is it going to be fair or foul? Can the right fielder reach it? And it is foul, and the right fielder was unable to reach it. He came a long way over there. Wasn't quite able to catch up to it. So a long strike on the foul ball makes it 2-2 to Harrison Shibley. Outfield playing straight away on Shibley, the right-handed hitter. If anything, the left fielder's playing off the line, so they're not expecting him to pull it. But there's a big gap down the left field line if Shibley can't pull it sharply down there. And that next pitch, strike call, looked high from my vantage point, right around the eyes. But boy, that was a strike, huh? So Shibley strikes out for the second out. Big strikeout for Anthony Schuett here, holding on to a 3-2 lead with the tying run just 90 feet away on third. And that brings up number 7, Matt Murnham. Pitch on away by Schuett. Looking to see if Selke's going to take second here to try to put 2 runs in scoring position. So far, he has not taken off. No balls, 1 strike, though, the count to Matt Murnham. Burnham batting .259 on the year. 27 at bats, 8 runs scored, 7 hits, 3 singles. Number 7, Matt Burnham, looking to tie it up with a base hit, and there's a pass ball, and in comes the runner, number 9. Schmidt beats the throw, and he ties the score on the pass ball. So Benilde really taking advantage of the Kennedy mistakes here. Earlier in the game, they overthrew the third baseman on a pickoff attempt at third that scored a run, and now Benilde takes advantage of a pass ball, and the game is now tied at 3 in the top of the 4th as Benilde strikes for 3. And they are not done yet with 2 outs and a runner on second. Anthony Schuett with the pitch, and that ball's laced to left field, and it's going to be down. And will they score the runner? Selke, yes, there's going to be a play at the plate. Here comes the throw. It's in time, and he is out at home for the 3rd out. He cuts him down. And the game is tied as we go to the bottom of the 4th. Stay tuned, folks. We got us a great game here in this Metro West Classic Varsity Boys Conference, and look at that action at the home plate. What a throw and tag to stop the runner from the go-ahead run. Wow. Great action as Benilde now will come back onto the field, just barely missing an opportunity to take the lead. There in the top of the 4th, we'll go to the bottom of the 4th. And now out on the mound, we have a pitching change for Benilde. Number 13 is out there taking the warm-up tosses, and that is Zachary Carden. Carden on the year pitching. He's appeared in 3 games. He has 1 win, 2 losses. He's pitched a total of a 7 1/3, given up 10 hits, 6 runs, 4 earned runs. He's got a 3.82 ERA. He's given up 1 home run, 9 base on balls, struck out 8. 62 strikes on the year, 34 balls. So Zachary Carden comes in relief of Matthew Nachbar, who actually had a really nice outing. Leaves the game with the game tied, which is all you could ask for your young sophomore pitcher. Carden, on the other hand, is also a sophomore with a few more innings of experience, and he will be facing the leadoff hitter for Kennedy, and that is Gilbert Lopez Humphreys, who has been largely responsible for the bulk of the offensive production for the Eagles. He scored the first run after walking and stealing second, and then he batted in the second run on a nice RBI. Now it's his 3rd time at the plate in game 2, the doubleheader, and he takes strike 1 from the right-hander Carden. Sun now getting brighter in the western sky. Start to feel the warmth. Summer is coming here in Minnesota. They say it is. But really turning into a lovely evening here in St. Louis Park, the eastern edge of St. Louis Park, where the campus of Benilde St. Margaret's is. They are visiting on their home field tonight. And they have just tied to score at 3. Now pitch on away from Zachary Carden. So it's 2-2 is the count to Lopez Humphreys. And the pitch, strike call. Strikeout for Carden. Nice start for him in the bottom of the 4th. Strikes off the leadoff hitter, Gilbert Lopez Humphreys, and that will bring up number 11, John Kern. The left-hander is having a nice night as well. He's got a hit on the evening, run scored. Due up after him is Anthony Schuett, starting pitcher. Meanwhile, Cardinal delivers to Kern, another strike. So Cardin off to a great start here, throwing lots of strikes. And if we look at his history, he It throws a lot of strikes. Got a fairly low ERA, below 4. And the second pitch on the way, just outside, or was that called just a bit low? So 1-1 the count to John Kern. And pitch number 3 to Kern is high, so 2 balls, 1 strike. For Carden, and the delivery is low, gets by the catcher, so that's ball 3. So 3-1 now, with 1 out here, bottom of the 4th. So this is the second to the last inning, unless we're tied. Next pitch swung on, big swing there by Kern, fouls it back and to the left. Count now full at 3-2. Up next is Anthony Schuett. And the pitch, and base hit, just eludes the shortstop. Number 6 for Benilde, diving to his right, Edward Kinney, unable to catch up with it, so base hit for John Kern brings up the pitcher, the starting pitcher, Anthony Schuett. Number 24, the right-handed hitter, there he is, steps in. 3-3 game here, bottom of the 4th. Runner on, 1 out, game tied. Kennedy would love to get a run across here and then close it out here in the top of the 5th. Zach Carden on the mound in relief of Nackbarn. That ball swung on to right field and measured nicely and hauled in there for the right fielder for Benilde, number 8, Clyde Selke. Records out number 2 here in the bottom of the 4th, and that will bring up the first baseman, the cleanup hitter for Benilde, number 19, Nikolai Lohman, and he's got a hit already this evening in game 2. Looking, and there's a stolen base attempt, and a swung on, hit and run, and a slow roll to third in time. Nice play by the third baseman for Benilde, number 9, Schmitz. Gets down on that ball, the slow roller with this thick grass. Get the nice Sunday hop though, and put some mustard on that pitch, a little low, and digging it out nicely there for the Red Knights is number 2, Henry Wolf, to retire the side, and the score remains the same at 3 apiece as we go to the final inning. Tied at 3. Coming back out on the mound for the Eagles again is going to be the starting pitcher, Anthony Schuett. He's gone the whole way here, having a nice game, only giving up 3 runs on 3 hits. Till just last inning, he had a 3-0 lead before Benilde was able to even it up on an error and a couple of well-timed hits. So leading off for Benilde here in the top of the 5th will be number 17, Mason James. James on the year is their number 1 hitter coming into tonight's action. Before game 1, he was hitting .522 with an on-base percentage of .577, slugging percentage .391, and an OPS ops of .968. Mason James can do some damage with the bat. That is for sure. He's got 3 doubles, 3 singles. So Schuett now completes his warm-up tosses, and in steps the right-handed number 1 hitter for Benilde. Number 17, Mason James takes first pitch high and inside, ball 1 from Anthony Schuett. Looks like the outfield is shaded slightly to the right-handed hitter, Mason James, and he was all over that pitch, way in front of it actually. Lines it right down third baseline, I should say. So now it's 1 ball, 1 strike to James. Pitch on away, strike. So 1 ball, 2 strikes to James. Schuett having a word with his shortstop there. Now back on the mound, and his pitch sails high. So count now 2-2. Pitch on away. Wow, just missed. So 3-2 the count to Mason James. See if he gets anything good here. The #1 hitter, average-wise for Benilde, swings on it, and it's going to be down the right field line, fair or foul, and just inside the line, and James will take second, easily sliding in for a leadoff double. And that brings up Zach Carden, #13. Carden is the #2 hitter, batting .500 coming into tonight's game. He's got a .562 on base percentage, .808 slugging percentage, 1.370 ops. Very similar numbers to Mason James, who's in scoring position on second base, no outs. And Schuett, first pitch to the left-hander. Carden takes ball 1. So Benilde trying to mount a comeback. They were down 3-0 early, and a chance to get the lead here in the top of the 5th. Chance to close it out here in the 5th inning. Anthony Schuett now from the stretch. Steps into the rubber. Card now in the batter's box. Checks the runner at second. Pitch on away. Swung on, and that is down the line. Fair ball. Carden now, he'll go in with a double. Will he stretch it for 3? Mason scores on that from second, and he does. He's going to go all the way in for a stand-up triple, and Mason and Carden, bang, 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 have just taken the lead on 2 hits, a double and a triple, and now it's 4-3. Red Knights, look at that nice swing, and he lines that thing right down the line, all the way into the corner. The farthest reaches of the right field, way out there. Nice camera work by our camera crew catching that. He needed a bus ticket to get that far away. Nice hit by Carden there, the triple down the line. What a backbreaker for Kennedy. And now that one is hit deep to left field. It could have a chance, and it's just inside the fence. That is #22, Evans, the catcher, and he comes in for a double. And that scores Carden. Now it's a 2-run lead, 5-3 here. Top of the 4th, and Benilde is starting to blow this thing open. Still nobody out. And that brings up #2, Henry Wolf. And now there'll be a pinch runner for Evans. What a nice double. Boy, when he first hit that, I thought that had a chance, but there was just no wind. It's coming out of the west to help him, and it was maybe a bit into the wind. And with that sequence of events, the manager for the Kennedy Eagles is coming out to the mound, George Walker. And let's see if there's going to be a pitching change. I don't see anybody was warming up anywhere. So just maybe going to have a word to settle him down. But it looks like now we are going to have a pitching change. Schuett now steps down, and it looks like #11 for Kennedy, John Kern, the shortstop tonight. It looks like he is going to assume the mound and take over the pitching duties here. So it was 3-3 just a few moments ago before Benilde reels off a double, a triple, and a double to lead off the top of the 5th. And they score 2 runs and now have a 5-3 lead on 6 hits. So we're going to take some warm-up tosses. And while they do that, let's look at the Metro West regular season standings. As we indicated earlier, Chanhassen is the class of the league this year so far. They're 7-1. They beat Benilde in a doubleheader just 2 nights ago. Benilde lost 3-4 here at home before losing again 16-5. So that first loss, that 4-3, that must have been a crusher there. What a barn burner that would have been. And then they really got beat badly, 16-5. And now we're here. They beat Bloomington Kennedy 12-8. And now they are leading. They were down 3-0 and have come back with 5 unanswered runs in the 4th and now the 5th inning here. But their record there is 4-3. Jefferson is just ahead of them at 5-2. So yeah, Benilde actually they're 5-3, and if they hang on and win this, they'll go to 6-3. So that will jam up the top depending on how Jefferson and Chanhassen has done. So the Red Knights very much relevant in the Metro West standings and still has a chance to win the conference and do some damage in the sections. And we saw the class of Benilde's hitting attack just in these last 3 batters, which featured their 3 best hitters. Mason James doubles, Zach Carden triples, and Evan Brown doubles, and that's how you get 2 runs and a lead in the last inning of a Metro West varsity baseball conference matchup. And now we're back underway here, and the first pitch by number 11 in relief, John Kern of Anthony Schuett, is called a strike. Oh no, that was a ball, excuse me. And up to bat is number 2 for Benilde. 2 is Henry Wolf, of course. And we still have a runner on second for Benilde, trying to add to their 2-run lead here. And that ball gets by the catcher, and that has been a real sore spot for the Eagles. They've had several pass balls and a couple throwing errors at the catcher's position, and it has cost them dearly. It's cost them at least a couple runs, and now on that pass ball, or maybe that was a wild pitch, that allows number 10 for Benilde, who was on second, to advance. 10 being Kyle Klacko. So with no outs, Benilde looking to add to their 2-run lead here, and they just mustered a walk. Henry Wolf there just walks to first base, and he's going to be replaced with a pinch runner. And that looks like Matthew Hansberry, the junior, will come into pinch run for Henry Wolf. And so now runners at the corners, nobody out still here. Top of the 5th inning, scheduled for 5 in the second game of a doubleheader from the campus of Benilde St. Margaret's. I'm Robert Christensen. We're here with ParkTV 16 Sports on location. And stepping into the batter's box for the Red Knights is Edward Kinney. And he is a junior. No stats on Kinney to pass along at the present time as he takes ball 1 and is a pickoff move at first, safe. So despite the throwing errors, Kennedy not afraid to throw the ball around, trying to pick off players if possible. So the count 1-1 now. To Edward Kinney, number 6, and another pickoff move over to first base, but getting back safely is number 31, Matthew Hansberry. Benilde still has a runner over there at third. No outs here, top of the 5th, final inning. The pitch from John Kern is popped up high up there over by first base, and Nikolai Lohman makes the play. Boy, that ball was really up there, and into the sun. So nice play to record the first out is made by the first baseman for the Eagles, Nikolai Lohman, the junior first baseman. So 1 out. The runner on third, Kyle Klacko for Benilde, did not advance on the infield pop-up. So that brings up 1 out with runners on first and third. And up to bat is Michael Schmidt. Schmidt has a run scored on the evening, and boy, he goes after that first pitch. Nice pitch there by Kern. Took a little something off that, made Michael Schmidt lunge for that changeup. So no balls, 1 strike. Hansberry on first takes a lead. On third is Kyle Klacko. Benilde looking for another insurance run, and there's going to be a stolen base attempt by Hansberry, and they do throw it down there. Sometimes on plays like that, they'll fake the throw and it'll be cut off by the pitcher in anticipation that the runner on third will try to come home and they can cut off the runner, but that did not occur here. So now runners on second and third for Michael Schmidt. The count is 0-2, 1 out here. Benilde up 5-3, curveball. Another pass ball is going to lead to another run at the plate as number 10 comes back on another wild air, unearned run. That's at least 3 tonight that I can remember, and there might be 4 unearned runs. So Kennedy really being their worst enemy tonight. Had a really nice game going until near the end. And now they've given up 6 in just an inning and a third, and they're down 6-3. So now from the windup now is Kern, and he gets a strikeout on Schmidt to record the second out here. So now with 2 outs, Benilde still has a runner on third. That is Hansberry, and that brings up number 8, Clyde Selke, the senior captain for Benilde, trying to get that 1 more run in for a 4-run comfortable lead here to go to the bottom of the 5th. Another pass ball, and Hansberry's going to try to make it in the play at the plate. He's safe. Unable to put the tag on was Kern. And that is now the 7th run for Benilde, and they have come storming back here in the last inning and a third. They were down 3-0 and have scored 7 unanswered runs. Not all of them earned, however, but nevertheless, that is the score, 7-3. Kennedy having a hard time. But Hansberry showing great hustle and aggressiveness, coming in to score that 7th run, and that is a 4-run cushion now for Benilde when they come back in the bottom of the 5th to try to close this one out, as the pitch on away from John Kern is a strike to Selke, and he strikes out that one for the 3rd out, which will conclude the top half of the 5th, and now we will go to the bottom of the 5th. And the home team, the home visiting team, the Kennedy Eagles, because we are playing this on the home field of Benilde-St. Margaret Red Knights, but because it is a doubleheader and because the way the schedule has worked out in this weather-tainted season, Kennedy is the home team on the home field of Benilde-St. Margaret. So they are down 4, and they have their work cut out for them here. Taking the mound again in relief, who had a 1-2-3 inning last time out, is Zachary Carden. And leading off for the Kennedy Eagles will be Joe Jeans, number 2. Had a nice night at the plate. Big stick up there. Left-handed hitter to face the right-hander Carden to lead off the bottom of the 5th. They need base hits and base runners, and they need 4 runs to keep this one going. So Carden has finished his warm-up pitches. Really turned out to be a beautiful evening here in St. Louis Park. Sun is mostly out. It started out as a pretty overcast and sort of rainy day. It's really turned into a beautiful, clear evening, and the winds have died down. looking at the flag out in right center. It's hardly moving at all. And Joe Jeans is at the plate. 1 ball, no strikes. Now it's 2 balls, no strikes. So Carden trying to close this one out for Benilde. And he takes ball 3 now. So 3-0, the count to Jeans. Let's see if he'll be taking all the way. Usually that is the... And 4 straight balls. Jeans gets on first, so a nice start for the Eagles, down 4, needing 4 to stay alive in this matchup, and that brings up number 12, Devin Barnum, the 3rd baseman, the right-handed hitter. With Joe Jeans on first, we'll keep an eye on him. He looks like he might have some speed. And that next pitch by Carden is also a ball. So 5 straight balls to start off the bottom of the 5th by Carden, having a hard time finding the strike zone. He hit a triple last time up, but he's got to concentrate and close this one out here. 5 straight balls, and now 6 straight balls. So if I'm Kennedy, I'm taking all the way until he throws a first strike here, because Kennedy, they just need base runners, first and foremost. And another pitch. That's 7 balls in a row. So I'd be taking all the way here if I am Mr. Barnum. And there's a strike for Carden, so that'll settle him down. Just got to get that first one in there. So 3-1 the count. I'd be taking here too if I was the Kennedy player, just to make sure. And now strike 2 by Carden. So now it's 3-2. And the pitch on the way, swung on right to the first baseman, who steps on first for a bang, bang, bang double play. And that, Joe Jeans broke a cardinal rule in base running. When it's a line shot in the infield, your first step is always back, making sure it clears the outfield, into the outfield, and that is a big dagger in the side of Kennedy. 2 quick outs after getting the leadoff runner and also having the advantage in that second at bat. But Carden throws 2 straight strikes and then gets the double play, and now it is no balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here, bottom of the 5th. Carden looking for the game right there, throws the curveball. Up to bat for Kennedy, by the way, is number 14, Justin Elcombe, the junior, now in a hole here, 1-2, and takes ball 2. So now 2-2 with 2 outs. Carden to Elcombe. Kennedy down to their last out, swung on, and that's popped up in the infield, and the shortstop, number 6 for Benilde, comes in, Kinney, to make the final out, and that will conclude this shortened 5-inning affair. Benilde storms back, being down 3 with 7 runs in the 4th and 5th to take the victory. So for ParkTV 16 Sports and our producer, Paul Borden, my name is Robert Christensen. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again.